My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Now, you may have noticed that there haven't been a few episodes of Oxygen Not Included for a couple of days now. This is me regrouping and spending some time reading comments from all of the lovely folk that contributed as to exactly what it is I'm doing wrong and as to why the vents aren't working. Thankfully, the vents aren't working because vents and hydrogen generators are currently bugged. Yay! Not my fault. However, everything else in the base is my fault. So I wrote up a list of 7 general rules that I heard a lot of times throughout many different comments, and then a few specific rules that were typically backed up with statistics immediately after. A lot of these courtesy of Brian under Danubis in the current game. Alright. First general rule. Don't expand so quickly. A lot of people were saying this. I expand so quickly that I end up reducing the ability of my base to effectively compress gas because I've just too large an area that density is lowered almost forever. I never actually have the ability to increase that density fully from then on. Great point. Excellent point. Second point. Don't take in so many duplicates. I feel like I did this a little bit in this playthrough, but I need to do it more in next playthrough. Be way more selective. Sure, things will be a little slower at the start, but we'll also be using fewer resources, and using those fewer resources while just expending extra time is ultimately going to result in a more well-developed base that has a sustainable economy to deal with the new duplicates. Third, now this was suggested by a few people specifically, I can remember Drew and Brian suggested this, that is to build vertically, not horizontally. So a lot of my bases go straight outwards at the very start, and then they build extra layers downwards. That's a bad idea. Consider the fact that gases in this game don't really move side to side, they move up and down. So if I want to make a base that is entirely built around the idea of allowing these gases to freely move so that I can have a central reservoir or central CO2 well at the bottom of my base, I'm mostly going to have to look at a straight line, very, very tall vertical base. Great idea. Fourth, use coal generators instead of duplicates for powers. Actually, this is also one of my specific rules, so I'll read that one instead. Coal generators with air scrubbers and air scrubbers with water purifiers seem to be the most efficient method of power generation in the early game. An air scrubber with a water purifier in a loop is at net 0 for water consumed. So I don't have to worry about running out of water really, really early as a result of running that, as long as I have the air scrubber and water purifier in a loop with one another, because of course the air scrubber ends up contaminating water, and the water purifier, decontaminates that water. I will start running out of filtration medium, specifically sand, but I don't really use my sand super heavily at the moment. Let's consider the fact that it's the only filtration medium I have, and I have a ridiculous amount of it. I actually can't even think of, other than the air deodorizers, I can't think of many things in my base that are constructed or use sand, and there's a lot of sand around. Fifth, consider decor problems earlier. So I want to consider the decor problems earlier because then I don't end up in a stress spiral where people get stressed, their stress causes other stress by them breaking important things or vomiting everywhere, other people stepping into contaminated water and getting more stress as a result of that. So consider decor earlier. Consider it before the duplicates level up to a point that they are so in tune with the idea of decor in the world that it immediately stresses them out. Next, running wires and pipes inside tiles is too wasteful to do early on. This was specifically mentioned by Thunder, I think it was. Thunder Soul and also Brian again. True. I like to run the wires and pipes straight through the middle of things. I think, can we look at an overview that shows my wires? Yeah, power grid goes all the way through the central of everything. Now, of course, since this is a wide base, it's going to have a lot more wires than a vertical base would, because the vertical base is by necessity going to have to be more compact. I can't go too far high and I can't go too far low without running into problems. But at the same time, I should also consider just running wires straight through the center of rooms, because they don't have a problem. My understanding is that wires don't have a decor. Oh, they do have decor things. Ooh, that's unfortunate. So they actually do have a decor effect, but it's not super significant. There we go, the electrical wire there. Let's also have a look over at pumps. See if they have a decor effect as well. Okay, liquid pipes don't appear to have a decor effect. Nor do gas pipes. But electrical wires do. Alright, well, I would have assumed the opposite. But I can't run on assumptions anymore if I'm trying to actually play well. 7th, make sure that buildings prioritize using the most common materials available when you construct them. So this is something that I've not done so far. Just use these. Select the metal that I actually want to use when I'm building something. Here's a manual generator. What do I want to use as my raw metal? I've got to select. I've got to very specifically make sure that I use this menu option when I am dealing with creating large groups of things. For example, if I'm creating a ridiculous amount of tiles and it's defaulting to using obsidian while I still have sandstone, that's dumb. I need it to use the sandstone first. That's far more replenishable as a resource. Obsidian's harder to get, harder to mine as well. So those, I believe, are the most common general rules that people were telling me. I'm sorry, I will be restarting my base in this episode. I'm just going to go through this stuff first because this is the first point I've had to really, as a whole, assess all of the response that I've got and then go through and address and try and move my play, or to, what's the word I'm looking for here? To adjust my playstyle based on the response. So here's the specific rules. Air scrubber and purifier in a loop, net 0 for water consumed, already mentioned that. Piping water into a central reservoir in the base. So imagine this is an enclosed area that I pump all the water that was down here into this enclosed area. So piping water into a reservoir central to the base and then accessing it from there will minimize duplicate travel times and shorten pumping distances. That is also going to be really important if I'm dealing with a vertical base, because the vertical base is not always going to have the water directly below or directly above it. However, if I can move it inwards, I can just shut off the side from which I am drawing the water, and then I don't have to worry about the gas pressure in that area. Algae terrariums are wildly inefficient, even under direct light. So this is the kind of thing that I wouldn't see without digging directly into the numbers. Thankfully, Brian has done the digging directly into the numbers. They are wildly inefficient even under direct light and should be avoided outside of early use and emergency use. That's a problem, because that's a thing that I've been using very, very significantly, especially in the last run, but a little bit in this run as well. How am I going to deal with my CO2? Well, air scrubbers seem to be the most efficient method of dealing with CO2, as well as being part of the most efficient method of power generation along with the coal generator. I need to make my ladderways 2 tiles wide. So this ladderway is obviously 1 tile wide, you can see. I need to make them 2 tiles wide so that I can assist with early gas flow, as well as late gas flow. Who knows if I'm going to be using gas permeable tiles super early on. I feel like I will be, but I'm not certain. Making them 2 tiles wide is going to make it really easy for the gases to flow both ways as well, because each block in this game is just counted as a unified block of a single gas. This is a block of oxygen. Right next to it is a block of carbon dioxide. They're not intermingling, right? The liquid dynamics here are a little weird. I've seen this talked about in a bunch of different forums. That you've got a block and a block and a block and a block, right? So if you end up with 1 tile wide, you can have oxygen rising, you can have carbon dioxide falling, but you can't have both happening at the same time. And that's going to be really important to a base where I'm trying to generate oxygen and carbon dioxide in respective levels. Alright, what else? This is the one final one, spacing out 2 airlocks. So we've got an airlock here. Imagine that this electrolyzer is just an extra room, and then we put another airlock here. That will actually create an airlock. So this is an airlock, except when it's open, it lets stuff out. However, if I create a interstitial room and then another airlock, we end up with an airlock that is an actual airlock. Of course, I'd need like a pump in that room to pump out the gas inside, but you know, that's if I want to go, like, super heavy-handed on trying to make sure absolutely nothing escapes. Savvy? 10 minutes in, let's restart our base, because this one is apparently fucked as shit. I didn't think it was, but I've been warned it definitely is. New game. Especially considering I've already consumed all of the algae in the world that I can really afford to. Bit rough. I love the generating world notes there. Okay, Ma, Carl, and Ernstein. Ernstein, unfortunately, is destructive and has decor expectation of 15. Now, I want the stress response to be vomiter, because if in the later game I want to actually purify vomit and run like a high stress base, this is something that is the actual sustainable method of this game at the moment. You let everyone be super high stress, you let them vomit, and then you purify the vomit by heating it up, having the steam rise, pumping the steam out into another room, and then cooling it, and you get clean water. I don't want to run a base like that. I imagine that at some point in the near future, they are going to be adjusting the alpha so that that is not a strategy that is particularly efficient. One of the reasons that strategy is efficient as it currently is because contaminated oxygen doesn't really do too much. You get diseases occasionally, but it's relatively rare. I'm not going to go straight into, you know, almost buggy, exploity kind of circumstances, because to me, that seems like a base that should not be sustainable, but it is currently sustainable just by the mechanics of the game. Anyhow, all of these are getting rerolled, because I want low decor expectation, and I want stress response vomiter. 0 decor expectation. You are a mouth breather. You are getting re-rolled. You're a cooker, but you're a bottomless stomach. Nope. Destructive. No. I'm just gonna keep re-rolling until I see some. Yo. You can't research, but you are okay at medicine. That's not really a thing that I care about. You're hardy. Yeah, again, and not really a thing I care about. You are a digger. Again, I don't even care about that. So we're going to be very selective here. Woo! Go one back! I fucked up. It was a -10 with a stress response vomiter. Should have checked that one out a little bit. I'm looking for a negative decor expectation. Woo! You're narcoleptic, you're a constructor, and a cook. I don't know. That might be okay. I did find, however, that narcolepsy was actually a problem. People would fall asleep in areas that they really ought not fall asleep in, which frustrated me slightly. Alright, let's keep rolling then. -5, -20. If that was actually fucking paired with vomiter, that'd be so good. -20 vomiter. You're a slow learner, so you're slow at... Holy shit, you're good across the board, and you're only called to level 1 right now. And -20. I love it. We're taking you. We're taking Max. Okay, Max is going to be renamed. You are Harkoni. Let's get Carl. -20, but you're destructive. -15, vomiter. Flatulence. See, the thing is, I don't know if I want to take flatulence, just because I don't want to have to deal with contaminated oxygen right up until I'm in a position where I am making and dealing with contaminated oxygen at the same time. Uncultured yokel, you can't research, you're a good dig. You refuse to do job art, but you have -20 decor expectation, which means that I can take a really, really high level digger at the early times. That's plus 200% digging speed. That's really good. I think I want to take Will, actually. Alright. So we've got a yokel and a slow learner. I kind of want someone really smart for our next. Will, let's name you Jamie Sauce. Alright, Ernstein. -35 vomiter. You're a narcoleptic. You're uncultured. You have low decor expectation. See, you'll never have a decor expectation is the thing. Never one that I really need to contend with, whereas yours will still climb. I think I actually need to go with the lower level. You're uncultured. You refuse to do job art. You've got Really low decor expectation. You can't cook. You've got creativity and learning. That's fine. Your creativity isn't really going to be helpful, but you do have learning, and that's going to make up for the fact that I don't have learning on someone else. So you're Stacy, which means I'll make you Aurora, Marie. Alright, Blanche. Ideally, I want like a negative... Wow, look at this. Level 13 technician. 40 decor expectation. Yeah, feel free to take that and lose the game instantly. Don't mind if I do. So I'm looking for like a near negative 20 decor expectation. Anemic. You're the opposite athletic. Now that's actually really interesting because that's your negative. However, you are already super athletic. So you would have had 6 athletics. This has taken 5 of it away as your negative. So you're just really, really good. That's actually really good. Okay, Gossman, you will be Gallop. I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. Alright, this is not going to be the Acropolis where the Parthenon is. It is instead going to be Republic. So it's been Republic Mark II, Republic for real this time, and Republic, no seriously, for real this time. So this is going to be Republic. What, do you think I'm going to continue that joke? Fuck no. Okay. Immediate decision. How wide is our base going to be? I don't have anything strongly to draw from as a good idea right... Ooh, that's a lot of carbon dioxide that I'm going to have to dig into. I guess I dig upwards first. Yeah, I really should, because the upwards here... I always expand, like, across and downwards, whereas the upwards is fine for a while. I don't want to dig through this oxalite, though. That's a problem. I actually just want the oxalite to, you know, do its thing. Do your thing, honey. And well, the man can stand up next to you. Alright. I want it to be an even amount across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright. So these are going to be... So I guess this is the wall. That's our double ladder way. And then this is just going to be the main. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Let's quickly set up some digs in the area. The digs are definitely going to happen. I mean, that's also all going to happen. I should also speed this up. Hang on. Let's lower prioritize this digging. Because otherwise they're not going to be able to reach the... What? I lower prioritize. Why are you... Butts. That's got to be a tile. That's got to be a tile. And then we're going to have ladder. Currently, I'm not choosing what they construct out of because they only have sandstone. I'm pretty certain they're going to use the sandstone, call it a hunch. Alright. That was just... I really wanted to fix the ration box being on top of nothing. So, obviously, super huge amount of carbon dioxide here. So, I do want to get some beds really early. I don't want to go upwards immediately because I want this oxalite to just be here for a while. So, if I want those beds, right now, I'm going to have to go down. I mean, these are always just going to be built like this. So I may as well build them there. Alright, get to work. As soon as I have some more exotic resources, I'll worry about, you know, clicking this and then specifically clicking a thing. I think I'm going to try and create... Let's have a look at our decor overview. Okay, so the ladders have low decor. Yeah, decor of negative 5.5. That's going to be a problem. I can give these walls a decor value by building them out of tile, but even then, it's not going to be particularly great. I also want to build my oxygen pit at the very bottom. Sorry, the oxygen pit, the CO2 pit at the very bottom really, really soon. But, so here's the thing. I'm trying to not expand so quickly, but also, if I build like a pit down here, say I build my pit right here, and this is my CO2 pit, then I've stopped myself, effectively, from expanding down to here. Because my CO2 pit would have to be dismantled and moved. Is it fine to have an ad hoc CO2 pit like that? Especially when the CO2 pit is going to have a generator in it. A coal generator, an air scrubber. Obviously, it's going to have some water piping if it's going to be doing that kind of thing. If it's got net zero of water consumed, they're going to be piping back to one another. So it's actually going to have significant infrastructure there at the bottom. Can I afford to consistently move that? Because my immediate reaction is I want to dig like all the way down to here. Look, I'm not going to do this. Trust me. I'm not about to do this. But my immediate reaction is it's a good idea to dig all the way down to here so I have space for a bunch of different things. And then I put the CO2 well at the bottom. I'm not going to do that, don't worry. But that is, you know, the immediate reaction I have. Okay, so if we went bed, 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 the problem that we're going to have there is that the decor is going to suck. It's going to really, really suck. So, and I'm going to want the beds here, aren't I? Because I want them to be dropping the CO2 directly on top of the CO2 bank, the CO2 well. So I've got to think about this right now. Where do I want the beds? Do I want them enclosed like that? Let's have a look at the furniture. So if I went cot, 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 I leave a side here for like a pneumatic door or something like that. Now the cots don't actually have any decor. If I build them out of sandstone, apparently they get decor plus 0.1. That still doesn't seem good. I kind of want like a decor effector in the middle. So how would I get that? That would be cot, cot, cot. And then in the central areas there, I'd either have like a lamp or a briar seed plant or something along those lines. Something I definitely need to do right now is I need to dig this out. Because otherwise I'm not actually going to be able to construct those. I'm going to let this episode run a little long, probably to 30 minutes, 35 minutes, maybe 40. Just because it's the construction of a new base, I want to try and get through a lot of the super obvious stuff at the start. And also because a lot of the very start of this episode was already spent talking about what's wrong, how do we fix it, that kind of thing. And I actually want to get a reasonable amount of gameplay in. I'm not trying to shortchange you for the ad that you had to watch. If you had to watch an ad, oh. I don't think you do, actually. I've just got the little pop-up at the bottom that you immediately click X on. Or accidentally click on and it's like, oh, fuck me, I'm dead. Alright. There's our cots. They'll assign themselves over time, that's fine. So the decor there is nothing. That's fine. Neutral decor is fine right now. Let's have a look. Carbon dioxide well is kind of already forming down there. I think I'm gonna have to start building upwards. Hear me out, hear me out. I think I need to start building upwards. Not only because it'll release all of this oxygen, but also because I'm going to need to put somewhere a research area really, really soon. For the decor of the base, I would build a wall along here, but I don't need to do that yet, right? That's not essential yet. Colony requires toilets. I should do that really early. I should also probably do that here at the very bottom, right? Yeah, I should do that really early. Let's build like one toilet right there. This is obviously just going to be there for the moment. It's not intended as my continued area of toiletry. Come on, bud. There we go. Insufficient oxygen generation. Yeah, we're gonna be insufficient oxygen generation for a while. We have an idle unit. Oh, right, yeah, because they can't all reach up there. That's because I need to dig that. This is not me trying to expand super early. This is me trying to have space to build things, basically. I can put in some muck tables later. Just because duplicants like eating not off the floor. But I don't think anyone's going to be stressed for quite some time, especially considering the people that I chose. Their stress response being particularly good. Alright. So these Oxalite will disappear over time. As soon as they've all disappeared, I'm going to immediately construct over the top of the area, but for the moment I don't need to. Oh, fuck, what are you? That's a lot of carbon dioxide. I don't want to dig into that! Dude! It's really annoying. Let's have a look here again. We've definitely got our carbon dioxide down there. Alright. We are going to need a research station. Which also means we need power generation. Power generation, does it go lower or higher than a research station? Lower. And considering I'm wanting to get away from using manual generators as soon as I can, I'm actually going to do it like this. Yeah, you deliver dirt to that. Beautiful. Considering the fact that I want it... Hang on, wait. Also, just quickly cancel all of those wires. I can't afford to just run them through the floors just for the reason of, oh, it looks nicer. This should be fine, right? I don't have any rare materials at the moment, so I shouldn't have to worry about anything along the lines of, oh no, I'm using super rare iron ore instead of copper, or anything like that. It's not really a concern of mine. Okay, so you're idle, Harkoni. That's a problem. I don't want to start collecting all of these things on the ground here. Not really a concern of mine yet. I do want to start getting things built, though. So let's have a look at our reports. Wait, where are we? Jobs. Jobs. Okay, so you can learn. You refuse to cook. So you should definitely be the person doing research, right? So if research is ever done, I want Aurora Marie to be doing the research. Now, Callio, you're an architect. You're uncultured, but you're an architect. Lovely. I think both of you, both you and Harkoni remain as all-rounders here. Now, this has nothing queued currently. My inclination is I want to go immediately for gas piping. I don't know if that's correct. Apparently, mesh is a good idea to be using as a tile base, so that would be over here. I don't know why, though. If I do want to go for power, it's got to be power regulation, combustion, and then all the way over to advanced filtration. That's really quick to go for those things. Should I? I need liquid pumping soon, anyway. So I think I go liquid pumping first, then down to combustion, then all the way up to percolation. Alright. Let's get that liquid pumping starting. Now, if people aren't super stressed at the moment, maybe I don't need to review the idea of an outhouse for a very long time. Which means maybe I don't need to provide them with showers. Like, these people have such low stress responses to low decor that maybe, just maybe, I can get away with not having those for a longer period of time than I would typically like. This is just going to build out sandstone. Beautiful. So you might wonder, why am I building that already? There's no reason to. It's so that I free up all sides of this oxalate, which means that it's going to be emitting its oxygen really, really, really quickly. Which, of course, means that it will dissipate very, very quickly, but also that I'll get all of the value of that oxygen. Colony requires a food source. We're going to have to build that on the next level. Shit. I have 2 seeds so far. If they're both briar... No, they're both mealwood. Crumbs! I'm actually going to have to dig into this carbon dioxide. I need more levels. Supercomputer is going to be 3 high. Eventually, this is going to be removed, so this will be a layer that has batteries and research stations, or it'll just be the area that has research stations. So if that's 3 high, that means that I am going to need to remove all of this. I am really sad to be inviting this carbon dioxide into my base, because that's a lot. Full stop. I mean, I have nothing else to say except that. That is really unfortunate that that is positioned there. And then tiles need to go across here, which also means that I need to dig that out. Good. Get to it. Okay, so one problem that we have at the moment is that's not queuing anything, but also... if we are going to be rushing the kinds of things that we're rushing... no, okay, I'm not going to put it at my highest prioritization. But I'm going to need to prioritize research. Research is going to need to be occurring at all times that research can occur. Got a building entombment. Alright, yeah, it's fallen sand. Colony requires a food source, but we have a couple of days of food left. It looks like I'm about to get my next duplicate, maybe before the end of the episode. I'm probably gonna reject them. So you can see a lot of this carbon dioxide coming out here. One thing I should have done is as soon as I opened that, I should have put a block there. Because now this is gonna be filled with oxygen that I don't need to be putting there. I should have blocked those off, yeah. That's my bad. That's gonna be not hugely important, but it's gonna be pretty fucking important. Bugger. Okay, everyone's hungry. We've generated no oxygen, but the oxalate has generated a lot of oxygen, which is why we've still got so much. I would block off this area, but it's all oxygen. It's not really a great reason to right now. Okay. Just trying to destroy all of the sand that's made its way into our life. So let's have a look at our jobs. Are any of you bad cooks or not cooks? Oh no, okay, Aurora Marie can't cook. And each of you is sitting at cooking 1. That's fine, because Aurora Marie is, already prioritized to something else. I don't think I need 2 microbe mushes. Not if I'm going to be rejecting as many people as I'm hoping to reject. It's going to be, I'm going to have to see an offer I really can't refuse before I'm going to go for it. I could actually place this here in the interim. How long is the interim really going to be, though? Oh, it's going to be a while, isn't it? I'm just starting to think. I'm only going to be moving the manual generator away and starting to implement a supercomputer in here once I have coal scrubbing. But the thing is, coal scrubbing itself is under combustion and advanced filtration for the air scrubber and for the coal generator, and then the water filter is somewhere else. But both of those are really, really high tier. So if those are as high tier as they are, I'm not going to be getting those until I already do have a supercomputer. So the supercomputer is not going to be on this level. So if the supercomputer is not going to be on that level, I may as well just build a microbe musher there. Following? I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, not too far away from our first up here. Okay, that connection just hasn't been built yet, right? Let's... We're not really running out of food yet, so I'm not actually going to order any microbe mushers to be microbe mushing yet. This space is currently unused. I think I actually might just put 2 pots in there. Oh, crap. I can't. That's a research that I have to do, in fact. Okay, everyone's idle for the moment. I don't particularly enjoy this. Let me quickly dig that up. Any other orders that I really want to send right now? I kind of want to finish building the decor, rising stuff along the walls here. Yeah, we have areas of severely low decor right now. Thankfully, this area is reasonable in terms of decor. I will be increasing it as soon as I get some briar seeds, but, there's a buried muckroot over there. There's a briar. And that's a bristle blossom. I don't know what that is. Okay, what are the next areas I'll need? So I've got food generation. I've got no oxygen generation. Oxygen generation is happening from oxalite, which we actually have none left of. So oxygen generation is already over. So I guess we might need algae soon. One thing we definitely need soon, however, is water. And I think maybe it's time for me to build my central water reservoir. Is that a horrible idea? Is that an absolutely horrible idea? No, I think it's fine. Especially since the microbe musher is here, having the water reservoir directly above it is going to be fine. And since the research station will have another research station near it really soon that needs direct water, having that there should be fine as well. So I think... Let's quickly raise these quite reasonably. Because if I'm going to try and pipe all water up into a reservoir in here, I'm going to need a relatively deep reservoir. So I'm thinking something like that. And then the 2 wide is a entryway. How do I prevent more water being pumped into this reservoir than the reservoir itself can hold? Without monitoring it specifically by myself. Is there any way to make sure that the level never rises above here? Because I need people to be able to go through so that they can fetch the water. Or do I just make the reservoir deeper? Because, that is not going to fit just into here. But also, is it even going to pump at a reasonable at a rate enough to go into there? Would I want to make the reservoir, like, a lot shorter because the water isn't going to pump in at a rate that is enough for it to be worrying? Because if I make the reservoir a lot shorter, obviously I don't expand the base as much, which is always nice. But also I make it a lot easier for duplicants to actually access. I think I do make a shorter reservoir. I think this is what I go for. Alright. Which means that I have to manually monitor it. I'm going to have to constantly look at it and make sure that I am not just about to do something horrible with regards to... Hang on, I just want to check something. Are these... So they're being... Like, are the resources that were directly under that now dead? I can't tell. Okay, let's have a look at our research. Liquid piping's not up yet. So I should probably build the next level directly above it. Which is already easy, because the next level directly above it... hang on. Cancel. Or it only needs a 2 space, because it only needs a duplicate... God damn it. It only needs a duplicate to be able to access the water. So they just need to be able to stand here. And from 2 away, I believe they can actually suck the water up, so that should be fine. New duplicants are available. I think after this duplicant selection, I'll be ending the episode. Decor expectation of -10 and you're a vomiter. You are uncultured, you are dimensionally inept, you are strong and athletic. That's actually really appealing. Fuck. I haven't got enough food or oxygen generation up. I don't think I take the first duplicant. Despite the fact that I really kind of want this one. Is that okay? Is that damn it. I'm trying to meter my instinct against the multitude of times I've been told, stop taking in duplicants, it's really dumb. I think this guy's really good though. Has a low as fuck decor expectation, and he's uncultured, which is fine. So few people in my base need to do art, so that's just free decor expectation loss. I'm gonna reject them. For the moment, let me just say that my name has been Rhapsody. I've been listening, damn it. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. There's a playlist in the description down below with all of my content on this game, past, present, and future, and hopefully we will see you next time.